Hey, how you doing? This is Adam Post, publisher of more than 1,000 comic books and marketing expert covering Hollywood panics over billions in streaming losses, bundles Netflix, Peacock, and Apple Plus. Let's get into the story. Before we do, please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate you guys. From The Hollywood Reporter, Comcast unveils Peacock, Netflix, Apple TV Plus streaming bundle. The upcoming StreamSaver bundle continues a bid by the NBCUniversal parent and rivals to wring profits from the direct-to-home consumer platforms. Wait a minute, what's actually really going on here? Okay, this gets a little complicated. Let's break it down. Comcast owns NBCUniversal. They also own Peacock, a streaming service that is losing billions of dollars. Netflix is actually making money. Netflix doesn't need to go into some kind of a deal with Comcast. Or do they? They kind of do. Here's why. Comcast is developing this division where they're going to resell streaming services for their Peacock platform, but also for other streaming service platforms. Notice it's Comcast that's making this announcement. It's not coming from their Peacock division. It's not coming from Netflix. It's not coming from Apple. It's coming from Comcast, their cable service. So their cable service creates StreamSaver to bundle streaming services. Peacock is one of them. If you buy StreamSaver as a consumer, you're going to get all three services. Now, why is Disney Plus not included in this? Why is Hulu not in this? How about Max? 5 days ago, there was an announcement from Disney and Warner Brothers Discovery. They said they were creating their own bundle, and they announced this before the Comcast people. Keep in mind, this Comcast announcement is definitely not in reaction to the Disney-Warner Brothers deal. It couldn't be, because it takes more than a couple of days, especially over a weekend, to put a massive deal like this together with multi-billion-dollar companies agreeing to do stuff. But it's different from the Disney-Warner Brothers deal, because in the Disney-Warner Brothers deal, they're creating one bundle that both of the streaming services, Disney and Max, will sell directly to consumers. The Comcast bundle will only be sold by Comcast through their StreamSaver bundle. Any Comcast customer will be able to buy the StreamSaver bundle. And by the way, as a name, StreamSaver is a great name. It implies that if you sign up for this service, you're going to be saving money. And the CEO of Comcast has said, yeah, it's going to be cheaper, much cheaper than if you were to buy the three individual services. They don't give the price, but I would estimate it at Netflix probably plus 50% to get the other two streaming services. This is really the first service of its kind to be offered just through a cable service division. You have another cable company called Charter who has a deal with Disney to offer Disney Plus. What makes this different is, while Charter was selling just the Disney Channel, and they were selling that channel by itself right now, as well as offering it free to certain other customers, but it was branded under Disney Plus, this is branded under StreamSaver. Comcast owns StreamSaver, and they will be in full control of reselling it. You're not going to be seeing StreamSaver being offered by Netflix. It's coming straight through Comcast. And as of right now, if you go to StreamSaver.com, you get nothing. So I was a little bit surprised they didn't have anything prepared, like not even an email sign up, but I'm sure Comcast will get with it and do something with that soon. From the New York Times, Comcast plans streaming bundle with Netflix and Apple TV Plus. You notice what's missing? Peacock. This is kind of a new concept, so it's interesting to analyze it as we go. Peacock is absolutely included, and this package deal is only going to be available through StreamSaver, and you can only get it if you're a Comcast customer. But these streaming services need to do something to cut the billions in losses. And if they combine their services in one discount bundle, even though they get less money because there's a discount, they're going to get less churn. They're going to get less people canceling because the people get a deal, and because they figure, oh, if I cancel one, I'm going to lose all three services. I'm not prepared to lose all three services. The bundle offering, called StreamSaver, is the latest joint effort from entertainment companies looking to woo price-weary customers. But their number one priority is not just to get people who are cheap. Their number one priority is to get people to sign up for the service and stay on the service. The revenue that Hollywood's going to get from these streaming services is never going to be relevant. It's never going to be significant if people keep canceling the service, because you can get $10 a month or $30 a month. But if somebody cancels after 1 or 2 months, what good does that do you? It's going to cost money to get every subscriber and to keep every subscriber. If they lose subscribers, which is happening for all the streaming services, they lose money. And then they kind of have to start all over again trying to get customers. Of course, Netflix has this figured out the best. So if you see Netflix in a deal like this, you can assume that's the future of the business. Comcast, the parent company of NBCUniversal, is planning to offer its streaming service Peacock in a bundle with Netflix and Apple TV, according to Brian Roberts, the company chief executive. Called StreamSaver, the bundle will be sold at a deep discount compared with subscribing to all 3 services separately. The CEO didn't specify a price for the service, but the service is expected to debut later this month. So we'll certainly see soon, because May's almost over. But we've been bundling video successfully and creatively for 60 years, Mr. Roberts said. This is the latest iteration of that, and I think this will be a pretty compelling package. On price, figure Netflix plus 50%. That's an easy sell. Now, if you're currently a Netflix subscriber and you want to get this deal because you figure, all right, I'll take those 2 extra channels if it's only a couple of dollars per month, can you sign up with Comcast? Go to the website. I'm sure you can. Over the past year, several entertainment companies have joined forces to entice customers who are weary of signing up and paying for numerous individual streaming services. Earlier this year, Warner Bros. Discovery, Fox, and Disney announced they were teaming up to offer a streaming service with games from the National Basketball Association and the National Football League. Last week, Disney and Warner Bros. Discovery said they would bundle their streaming services, selling users a package that included Disney+, Hulu, and Max. Comcast has long offered its users a menu of streaming services on Xfinity, its package of services that includes cable television and broadband internet. For years, the company has offered services like Netflix and Apple TV Plus as add-ons to its existing television bundle, acting as a vendor for those companies. So every time they would sell Netflix, every time they would sell Apple TV Plus, the customer would pay, Comcast would pay the service, and Comcast would make a little money on each of those deals. This is the first time that Comcast has offered both services as part of a discounted bundle. What we should expect to see is that these are the core services for StreamSaver. You're not going to see StreamSaver charge, let's say, $25 or $30 per month, and then in 1 or 2 months, Disney Plus says, hey, can I jump in on StreamSaver? Sure, you can jump in. We're just going to charge $35 for the basic package for StreamSaver. StreamSaver, I'm sure, will sell discounted add-ons, but they're not going to go and replace their basic channels again. Maybe once every year or 2, they could consider resetting their basic channels, but they're not going to get you to sign up for a streaming service discounted bundle and then a month later tell you, oh, by the way, we just raised your rates by $5 per month or $6 per month. If anything, they would let you add on discounted subscriptions to StreamSaver if you wanted them, maybe with a 1-year commitment or something like that. But Disney missing out on this StreamSaver bundle when it was announced means that Disney will not probably be a major part of what Comcast does in the future. Comcast is also holding out because they're expecting to negotiate hard with Disney, where Disney is renewing channels with them. Their cable channels. Charter is getting Disney Plus essentially for free for many of their subscribers. So Comcast is not going to be prepared to pay for Disney Plus if their competitor Charter is not paying for Disney Plus. Disney should have been a lot more aggressive with how they plan to market their streaming services through cable companies years ago. But when the first deal got done with Charter, that's when they should have acted urgently to do things. Because this StreamSaver bundle, when it has Netflix in it, that's really the key. That's the core streaming service it needs to have to be valuable. It doesn't really need Disney Plus, it doesn't need Hulu, and it doesn't even need Max. They have what they need to be successful already. So those companies, if they do jump into this bundle, are going to be making a deal that's less favorable than Peacock, Netflix, and Apple TV are getting. Comcast, which has millions of broadband and cable television customers across the U.S., has different incentives to bundle streaming services together than many of its competitors have. If Comcast can give its customers additional reasons to stick with the company or to convince them to pay for more features through Xfinity, the effort to bundle services will have been worth it. Of course, the other great advantage for Comcast is they get to lock in Peacock as one of the core channels in the StreamSaver basic bundle. Other streaming services aren't going to have that benefit, and that might be enough to make up for a lot of their losses on Peacock. Many other internet providers have sold bundles that include streaming services. When Disney Plus launched, Verizon offered a promotional bundle with that service. Comcast has been willing to spend big to gain a foothold in the competitive video streaming business. Peacock, which launched in 2020, lost $2.7 billion last year, according to a filing from Comcast. But paying subscribers increased to 31 million. The company has said that Peacock's losses were narrowing as the service matured. While Peacock might not directly sell this new streaming service for Comcast, there will be some kinds of links and promotions as well. So now by having the Peacock service and having 31 million subscribers to that, I'm sure they'll find some way to upsell and to try to push selling this streaming service to make the cable company a little bit more money. And that's a key thing for these guys to try to do. If they go through the expense of having all these direct-to-consumer customers and maintaining all those direct-to-consumer customers, what other sources of revenue can they generate, especially revenue that doesn't really cost them anything because they have that distribution in place? So if somehow Peacock is able to say, look, if you subscribe to Peacock and you can spend a little bit more money and you get Netflix and you get Apple TV Plus, here's a link where you can sign up for that. But we don't expect Netflix to do that, and we don't expect Apple TV Plus to do that. Around 5 days ago, Disney and Warner Bros. Discovery announced they would be creating a bundle to resell their services bundled with their competitor services. This is also a good deal for Disney, and it's a good deal for Max, because it doesn't cost them anything to offer those additional services. So if a customer already subscribes to Max, and for a little bit more money, they can also get Disney and Hulu, they may go for it. And on the same side, if you already subscribe to Disney and Hulu, or if you subscribe to either one, maybe you will go and spend a little bit more money to get the full bundle. And that's a lot of extra content, so maybe that's enough for people. It's getting really obvious that these bundles are the future. Here's what's going on with this deal. The offering from Disney and Warner Bros. Discovery shows how rival companies are willing to work together to navigate an uncertain entertainment landscape. It's all about building more revenues at a very low cost. How do we generate more revenues with the same content in such a way where we get more money in than we're spending out? The studios haven't figured that one out yet. Netflix has, no one else has. Disney and Warner Bros. Discovery announced they would start offering a bundle of their Disney Plus, Hulu, and Max streaming services this summer, a sign of how rivals have become more willing to join forces in order to confront an ever-changing media landscape. Also known as they're still losing tons of money, and they're desperate to start making money, so they will do literally anything they can do to make money. The company said that the bundle will be available to buy on any of the 3 streaming platforms' websites. Disney owns Disney Plus and Hulu, Warner Bros. Discovery owns Max, and that there would be a commercial-free version as well as one featuring ads. The companies did not announce prices or a date when the offering would become available. I would also suggest that whatever the service is that you're currently subscribed to, they would add 50% to get the next bundle. It's reasonable. Maybe they would even have it for free for a few months, and then it would start being 50% more. But ultimately, if you're spending X dollars a month, you're going to spend X plus 50% to get the additional channels. The monthly retail price for subscribing to commercial-free versions of all 3 services is currently $48. The plans with ads are combined $25. A bundle offering is likely to cost less. Well, of course it's going to cost less. It's just not going to have a cool name like StreamSaver. Media executives have been vexed in recent years as the extremely profitable cable bundle has come undone by cord cutting, and as viewers have rapidly turned to on-demand streaming entertainment. The transition to streaming has been difficult for the companies, which have been bleeding cash. Disney, for example, announced that Disney Plus was profitable last quarter for the first time, though its overall streaming division lost money. And when they say they're profitable, they didn't lose a fortune, they made a tiny bit of money. Much less money than they need to operate. Adding to the uncertainty, consumers have shown a much greater willingness to cull and cut streaming services over the last year, further confounding executives who have slashed costs and reduced the number of television shows to get closer to making meaningful profits. Disney has introduced a bundle for Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus. The company has said it's seen good results from that offering. Those bundles are discounted, and the churn rate, the rate of people canceling, is lower. So they're very happy with that, and they're trying to copy it any way that they can. Executives have been flirting with the idea of cobbling together a streaming offering across media companies to give consumers less incentive to cancel. Like Disney Plus, the Disney Plus, Hulu, and Max offering is a significant step in that direction. Joe Early, the president of Disney Entertainment's direct-to-consumer division, said in a statement that the new partnership puts subscribers first. J.B. Perrette, the chief executive of Warner Bros. Discovery's global streaming unit, called it a powerful new roadmap for the future of the industry. I mean, they're just combining basically two services. Yes, Hulu is its own service too, but basically you're just combining two services. It's not like it's a miracle from heaven or something. In February, Disney, Warner Bros. Discovery, and Fox said they were forming a joint venture to create a streaming service dedicated to their sports offerings. It's expected to debut this fall. And that's another separate joint venture deal. That's an interesting deal because it cuts out the cable companies who had been relying on sports to hold their cable bundle together. Because many people want ESPN in their basic cable, and it's been the justification of why should you subscribe to cable for decades now. But this new joint venture competes with local cable companies for that business and is going to be offering their sports service probably cheaper than you could buy it through any cable company pretty much ever, because every cable company is not just selling sports. It gets very competitive. But the reason Hollywood is going completely berserk now is that people really aren't interested in their content and they're not watching their shows. All of these Hollywood studios just tried to copy what Netflix was doing and figured, well, if it worked for Netflix, it'll probably just work for us. And it almost doesn't matter what the shows are. Let's just put on lots of shows so that people see value and say, oh my God, you have all of these new shows. Of course, I'll subscribe to your streaming service. I don't even care what you charge me. And yes, I'll stay subscribed forever. Of course, that didn't work out. Comcast StreamSaver is probably the future of this, where you have a cable bundle that a cable service offers of core streaming services and then some additional ones that are discounted. But there's no way they're going to be able to push out all these shows like they did on cable, get people to sign up to pay for on a monthly basis, things that you're never even going to watch. That won't work. This combined bundle for Comcast should reduce churn, and it should get some steady long-term streaming customers for Comcast. What Disney and Warner Bros. Need to do is get together and probably do a deal like this with their competitor, because when Comcast gets around to doing business with Disney, under their StreamSaver offering, it's not going to be very generous to Disney. I can promise you that, because Disney was never part of their core bundle. If you're not there on the ground floor, you're not going to get the best deal. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments below. Always love to see your ideas. Please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again soon with another story. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.